the first of its kind in Alberta, a place to test street drugs for deadly substances. Those fighting the opioid crisis say it's needed to save lives.
I know harm reduction has a negative connotation, but I do think that there is immense value in it's going to happen regardless. So let's make it as safe as possible until we're able to take those steps towards, if reduction in use is possible for the individual, wonderful, but it's not going to happen overnight.
Carly Dolan says toxic street drugs are not just in big cities, but smaller communities like Wetaskiwin. She says the stigma around drug use and fears around harm reduction can get in the way of saving lives.
But at the end of the day, our job is to prevent crisis. And I do think that allowing people to ensure that they do have, safe substances to use if they are going to consume them goes a long way in preventing harm and preventing crisis. Crisis intervention is hugely expensive.
The new Edmonton site called Spectrum Drug Testing Outreach opens this week. They had to get a federal exemption to test illegal drugs. Edmonton police telling me they, quote, recognizes that harm reduction strategies can be valuable as part of an integrated suite of solutions, including the necessary social, mental health, addictions, and healthcare supports, all ideally geared towards recovery as the goal to fully address the drug poisoning, mental health, and addiction issues evident in our city. But the province not as supportive, in a statement saying, quote, all illicit drugs should be considered dangerous and potentially deadly. Alberta's government is focused on supporting Albertans in their recovery from the deadly disease of addiction by significantly expanding detox, treatment, and recovery services to help Albertans stop or reduce their use of deadly and dangerous drugs. Spectrum will be bringing drug testing to different events in Edmonton.
There was, I think, a color that was going around with metformin and, weirdly enough, chocolate powder going into it. So it's just kind of a mixed bag of what you get.
Indigo Harm Reduction works with medical professionals at festivals and raves in Edmonton, providing space for people suffering adverse effects from drugs as well as education. Launched in 2017, organizers say they've seen results.
Make sure that you feel comfortable with what you're doing. You don't have to feel peer pressured into anything. And we find that kind of tapering it off in you and just having that little bit of a stopper has cut down the amount of hospital transfers we've had to have all over in terms of the events.
Spectrum is run by the Queer and Trans Health Collective, but say their services are open to anyone. Reporting from Edmonton, Darcy Ropchan, City News.